And welcome everybody, 505 interview series. How are you all doing? I need to sit up a little bit, but that's all right. Hope you're all doing well. Welcome to another interview show tonight. I am pleased to announce the arrival of some YouTube superstars. They also own a shop. They're content creators. They kind of got everything going on. Pretty cool. They're out of Alaska, the Fifth Avenue Cigars. Make sure you go and follow, support them. Links to everything are going to be down in the description below. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Also, proud to announce my brand new partnership with the Select Draw. Yes, that's Select Draw cigar cutter. If you haven't used it before, you're missing out. This can be used as just a regular cutter itself. And it can also be used to enhance your smoking experience, man. So pinned into the chat right there. There's the link to go get it. Use the promo code to save you some coin, 505CR. It's awesome, man. I'm in love with this product, and I'm so glad to be partnering up with Select Draw as well. And tonight I will be continuing my journey in with Sassy Soul Cigars. We'll be doing the Big 21 Maduro tonight. So let me bring on the guys, the legends themselves from Fifth Avenue Cigars. Here they are. Welcome, gentlemen.
Howdy. What's up? Welcome. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us. We appreciate it.
Oh, glad to have you here. So I'll hand it over to you guys and let you guys introduce yourselves and talk a little bit about you and the company.
I'm Dakota. I'm the trash administrator here at Fifth Avenue Cigars and the Lounge on Fifth, both unique and divergent names. We're up here in Anchorage, Alaska, which a lot of people think is kind of like the frozen north, but it's more like a suburb of Detroit more than anything else. to be honest, I mean, the way it's laid out in the sprawl.
It's kind of cold and dirty, and we, on the inside we're very nice, on the exterior not so much sometimes.
There's a hipster wave coming through, so they're all this new revitalization, and comics are coming up here finally.
Yeah.
That's my hot take. What about you, Mike?
My name is Mike. I'm one of the owners here at Fifth Avenue Cigars and at the Lounge on Fifth as well.
Right on.
I mean, well, that's all I do.
He's a ghost. Don't try and look him up.
He does more than he lets on, but he's a man of few words. My name is Ben. I was brought on here as kind of a hired gun because I have a passion for cigars. I love what we do. I love these people. Big respect. I've been a part of these businesses for, I don't know, going on 3 years now.
Going on 3 years now.
I've been brought in on sweat equity, honestly, on this as an owner of this up and coming, the Lounge on Fifth, and I cannot be more ecstatic and excited about that. And that's it. I'm Ben. If you want to come to,
he's basically our resident expert. We call him our cigar sommelier behind his back.
We
expert
sell cigars.
Those words are strong, but I try my best to. My main thing is I want everybody to enjoy cigars. So if you come into the shop, there's a pretty good chance you're going to deal with me, and I'm going to help you have a good time.
We sell cigars. He is the tobacconist.
Yeah.
Sure. I even have magazines and publications. That leaves us with Chad here. What's up, Chad?
I'm Chad. I'm also one of the owners and of Fifth Avenue Cigars and the Lounge over there. I'm the one that they take pity on and keep around for no reason.
Chad and Ben basically handle the day-to-day operations of the store.
Yeah. Pretty much you'll
cultivate
see
the humidor.
us two.
Sorry, go ahead.
I do a lot of the purchasing while Ben does all the talking. If you see anything on the social medias that
That's Ben.
That's all Ben. I don't do that anymore.
Chad, fun fact about yourself.
No.
No.
All right.
I go curling.
Oh yeah, he's a curling champion. When did the curling club open up here? Wasn't it in the 50s?
Yeah, maybe earlier than that.
They have a dedicated building over on Government Hill, which is right next to one of the largest Army and Air Forces bases on the West Coast.
I think it opened up the day after his birthday, actually.
Yeah. Chad looks young, but he's really 97.
Yep. At least that's what I tell everybody.
Yeah.
They built the curling ring here in Colorado too. Dedicated. It's huge. I'm just
it's huge.
That was the first thing they built up here because all you need is a frozen lake, and we have a lot of those.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, I mean, I'm glad you guys can come on. I've been a fan of your guys' program that you put on Saturdays, showcasing pipe and tobacco culture in Alaska. and showcasing something a lot of people may not see or know about, which I think is important for our community in general to kind of get an idea of what other people like and enjoy throughout our country.
Thank you.
Sure. Yeah. It's a fun thing. I guess our unique take on it. We are about the cigars and the tobacco and that culture too, but we don't have really the luxury of bringing in as many people as we would like from cigar makers and stuff. So what we have done is turn to who's here, like next to us, rubbing shoulders with us. That's interesting, intelligent, has maybe an interesting job or something like that, and also likes cigars. So we get somebody in who likes to smoke. I mean, we've had local artists. We've had other people.
Your friend who was the Undertaker was one of the more interesting.
Yeah, a good friend of mine helps take care of the bereaved, and he works for a crematorium. We have had people who run dispensary shops. I don't know, all kinds of stuff.
Somebody that works for the governor's office.
The governor's office. We have somebody who has pioneered an Italian shoe company based out of Alaska. So we really, you get in with mandoshoes.com.
Yeah,
but you get in where you fit in, and so we don't have the luxury of being closer to the makers per se, but we have a lot of really awesome people in this state, and we like to highlight them and feature them, talk about our cigars, talk about what they do, and make that community thing happen. That's really our take on it.
I agree, and I think I like that. That's what I think makes your show fun to watch. Plus, you guys are very entertaining, and I always find myself laughing watching your show because you guys always, and I'm sure for me, being an outsider, a lot of the Alaskan references you guys make out there, I don't get because I'm not from there, but people watching who are from Alaska pick it up and get it quite easily. But I think that's part of the fun of the show.
We try not to make too many, but it gets hard,
Yeah.
You get caught in your own little
product
of your environment.
Fairview is Fairview is a very special place in Alaska.
Be careful. I lived in Fairview for like 8 years.
I did too.
Still does.
I did too. Fairview is a very special place where you can have a multimillionaire in one house, and then the next house is like a flop house or a crack house. It's a weird mix. And then there's a grocery store we call the People's Cars. Cars is a chain of grocery stores
That's
up
the
here.
polite name for it.
The People's Cars, the crack cars.
Well, so a Fairview handshake is a euphemism for a handy. So that'll give you an idea.
Yeah.
what we think of Fairview.
Yeah, so when we're talking about Fairview, it's all over the map. There's people there who are holdouts. There's some really cool,
it's the butt of a lot of our jokes. But like I said, it's such an eclectic. It's basically there's like 3 main neighborhoods downtown, and it's the more eclectic of the 3. So it's the butt of a lot of jokes. But like I said, I lived there for 8 years. There's nothing wrong with it.
I mean, there's like a 4-story modern art house there that won a bunch of international awards. And then right next door, I kid you not, is like an industrial warehouse. And on the other side is what was a bordello until recently.
Oh.
It's a weird mix over there.
Yeah.
All right, excellent. I went through you guys' website. I saw what a lot of the cigars you carry, and you've got a very nice mix of selection from legacy heritage brands to kind of mid-range brands to small batch boutique brands that you carry, which I think is really nice. And you've really got the setup there, so you kind of cater to a little bit of everybody's preferences on what they like.
Yeah.
Well, there's only one other cigar shop in town, and they're carrying more of the stuff you'd see everywhere else.
Legacy.
Yeah. What we have tried to do is kind of get that other stuff that you're not going to see at their shop, but you're also not going to see it at some of the places online.
Or when you're at the liquor store and they have a humidor next to the register, it's
We want to carry things
ones
that you won't necessarily see if you're in Vegas or Seattle or LA and you happen to go up to an actual cigar shop. We want to carry the brands you won't necessarily see there.
And the biggest reason is because our taxes up here are about 130, 135%.
We have the highest sin tax in the nation. And so we pay 135% taxes on everything.
Yeah, and so nobody's going to want to pay that for a brand that they can get the box online for. So if you haven't seen it or you just want to try it, just come to us and we'll get it for you.
Yeah, we fill requests at no extra cost, nothing like that. We'll order it in. And we have the luxury of we have the largest customer walk-in humidor in the state.
Yeah.
So we're just about to. We've been working on the back end. We're just about to double the size of it. So we have the luxury of being able to carry a lot of different stuff up here when a lot of other guys can't because we have the space for it.
Yeah, that's even, and that's I think also a selling point for a lot of tobacco shops is space size. But when you have a nice size humidor you can walk into and you've got a nice variety and selection and you're catering to everybody's palate from big to small, I think that really gets people wanting to come back again and again and again because they got what you want. Plus, you said, hey, if somebody's looking for something special you don't have, you'll get it.
Yeah.
As far as Embleware, we try and carry everything, not every size, but we'll carry as much as we can in at least one size available. So, we default to Robusto or Toro for the most part.
But the thing about most of the ordering I have to do is I can't always reorder a box, and so sometimes things get lost in the wayside. And I remember about them when somebody, oh hey, where'd that one cigar go? Oh shit,
better order that.
It's on the order now.
Mr. Ben, glad to see you made it in. Ben is one of the regulars every Monday night. I get worried when I don't see him in the chat. So,
right up. What up, Ben?
Hello, Ben.
Fellow Ben here. I get called Ben Jam a lot over the years.
You guys your chakras are exploding right
now. We're soul brothers, clearly.
Kindred spirits. Yes, Ben will fit in with the personality of you guys perfectly.
Perfect. Welcome, man. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah. So that's good. So do you guys have other than your website, do you have an online preference for shipping out to people, or do you just ship within the state?
Generally within the state because, like I said, we have the most expensive tobacco in the nation. So we don't really, that's why our website is not, you can't purchase anything on it and things like that because, I mean, it's ungodly cheaper everywhere else. So we don't push that.
The only orders we really fulfill for like remote customers, it's kind of like Northern Canada where it's like you deliver to a general address in a village.
Yeah.
And they can't get the big guys to deliver to them. So they call us and we get them secured with what they want and we ship it out to them in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, we do a lot of obscure things too. We do like leaf and twist and fire cured and
it's known as like bush orders within the state because you're sending out to the bush, quote unquote. But we are a cigar shop and pipe tobaccos, but we also carry very high quality like cigarette rolling tobacco. And as you know, the cost of that is going up and up and up to buy a pack. So a lot of people, even if you're not, whatever, our tobacco is great. And we have a million customers that come in all the time for rolling tobacco, but we send pounds of it to places in this state where people just can't get out and get to a store. And instead of buying a carton of Marlboros or whatever, they would rather get our tobacco, and then we stock all the other accessories and stuff like that too.
We don't carry a lot of the prepackaged loose or anything like that. We source 4 different varieties from a grower direct in the lower 48, and we bring it up here in bulk so that we don't have to give this dried out, Ziploc bag of something.
No, it's nice.
We bring up anywhere from 400 to 600 pounds at a shipment, and then we have. We use our extensive backstock humidor to be able to store it and cultivate it and provide it to the residents here
and
that can't get it otherwise.
According to Mike and my personal experience, when you're sorting through it, you got to wear gloves because you absorb all that nicotine through your hands.
You most definitely do.
And you get sick. I did a day in the shop without gloves, and I was like, oh my God.
I got to say, I like Ben Jam's style here.
My man, I don't know if it's like a name thing or what, but I feel like this dude, he's on the bourbon, he's rolling a joint. I feel like we can hang out.
I told you, he fits in perfectly with your guys.
Very nice.
But,
Very
you
nice,
do, for the time being, you do have the highest taxes because, California and New York have to go hold our beer. Watch what we're going to do.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure they'll get there. I'm sure they'll get there.
We're not trying
it's going to be,
please nobody
by the end of the year. Yeah, by the end of the year, New York is supposed to be at 200%.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
And California is supposed to be up to 150% by the end of the year.
Oh, wow. So, what we've been doing, so we also have a cigar lounge it was open. But we closed it down so we could do a remodel. It just needed an update and a refresh. And so we've been working on a remodel for quite a while.
Fast forward 8 years.
Yeah, fast forward. Not quite that long, but come on now.
We start off at the beginning with we got about 12-foot ceiling here.
Yeah.
And filled with junk.
Yeah, I mean, it took us a long time. Long story short, but so we're about to roll out the reopening of our lounge. And so what we did is, since Chad and I are owners in both, and then these guys are owners in the lounge, we're able to negotiate with ourselves a nice little affiliate program. So if you're a member of the lounge, even though our taxes are so high, we are allowed to give deep discounts to members of the lounge at the cigar store, so we can soften that blow of that
Sure.
that tax.
It's really puts in an incentive to want to become a member of the lounge.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
It's like if you go, if you go to the grocery store and you don't have their special little card, everything's expensive. But if you have their little card, everything gets a little more reasonable.
I think the biggest incentive would be the winters.
Yeah.
People are going to be hitting it up here it might be a slow rollout, but
here's another fun anecdote that might get people in here morbidly, is that this used to be the Bush Company, which was a strip club.
And straight into that.
All right. Yeah. So our building, used to be a strip club.
Haunted by stripper glitter.
And Butcher Baker, the movie Nick Cage made called On Frozen Ground.
He's the most famous serial killer out of Alaska.
Yeah, they not only filmed it here, he also hunted here.
He used
back in the day
pick up his victims from this building.
And we do have a few ancillary objects like railing and a shit ton of mirrors.
Yeah, this is brass rail from the strip club. We have probably no less than 10 stripper mirrors, giant stripper mirrors in the building still.
Yeah, like our main bathroom, when you're washing your hands, you're looking in one of the dancer mirrors.
The mirror
from the 70s.
The mirror
in that heyday, like, it's cool.
The mirror is so big it takes up almost an entire wall of our bathroom.
Yeah, it's not a small mirror.
I don't know, everything changes up here, but like every building that's been around for more than 40 years has some sort of weird goddamn story like that.
I think that's in every city though. That's got old buildings, especially in downtown areas or areas that used to be kind of seedy. They all have that story of what like that in Cheyenne here. There's a strip club / package liquor store that showcases a one-legged stripper.
Very cool.
Awesome. Very cool. Progressive too. I like that. That's very progressive.
Yeah.
Very forward thinking.
She rubs you with her nub.
Yeah. You rub it for good luck. I mean.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. That's cool. I'm always fascinated about kind of on the retail side, the brick and mortar side of how shops operate, because every shop kind of operates differently, and in the way that they and with what they stock in or what they'll be willing to stock. So, I always like to try and kind of get in and get a kind of an understanding on, why you're carrying this and this. Why aren't you carrying that? So, I mean, you did a good job of explaining that out. How it is.
We try to stay relevant. And every time we do an order and orders come in and we talk about doing our live streams, we always think like it's one of the big questions is what's new? What can we check out that we haven't? We try not to fall back in old staples. We don't like gatekeeping. We like to invite people into the hobby. We like to try out the new things. Like, I mean, I'm having a Natoro tonight, which is a fairly new veteran-owned company. That's they do everything in America you can do. So they don't grow their tobacco in America, obviously, but everything else they do is all on American soil, and they make great stuff.
Yeah, Natoro's
and very good prices. They're a good company.
It's not often you can get a mid-range cigar that's an El Tubo.
Mm-hmm.
Like a nice Connecticut El Tubo. Generally, that's like a much higher end product. And although it ashes like short filler, which is kind of a bummer, it draws like a standard El Tubo, and it's got very interesting flavors that are very unique from other Connecticut's that are out there that are the same range. Like you get an Oliva, it's just baking spice in your face plus cinnamon the whole time. They're great. Completely different spectrum.
I do recommend them if someone hasn't tried them out. But
we are
not to turn it into a commercial for Natoro, but
sure. Well, one thing. Okay, so I guess maybe we're now dipping a toe in the conversation of what we are all smoking here at the table, and we had a little talk, and we said, we carry a lot of AJ Fernandez. We have a good Drew Estate selection, and we've always got Punch, CAO, Alec. We've got some of the standards, but we try to have some like cool, unique cigars that we can provide affordably, and like some of those become staples. Just like I know Sagrado, so I've got a Sagrado going. I've got the Fundacional right now, which is delicious as always. He's talking about Natoro. Yeah. That's a Marine Corps owned and operated business. You're supporting multiple veterans when you buy one of those for us.
Great guys over at Sagrado too. One of the few cigar companies that has a rep that comes through Alaska. So we always invite him down.
Yeah.
We hang out here in the studio, or well, soon to be the lounge, and always have a spark up.
And the owner actually phones in every once in a while and talks to us.
Yeah.
To be honest about the rep, though, he's not coming to sell cigars.
No, he's not.
He comes up for something else, and he swung by the shop, and he's like, "Oh shit!"
But he brings cigars, and he makes a point. To bring cigars and to come on and do the show if he can and hang out.
Didn't he bring one of our orders up?
I think he did.
He did. It doesn't matter. He does multiple things, but the point being, like, he's somebody cool. Like, we know about Sagrado because of this guy.
I don't know anymore.
And now we're so happy to carry them. They're affordable, but they're freaking delicious. We're supporting like new guys and something different. That's, again, you won't find this at the gas station. You honestly won't find Sagrado in any other shop in Alaska. I hope one day they're in every shop in Alaska, but right now, you want to try them out, you got to come to Fifth Avenue.
We were also
exactly.
Yeah, we were also the first dealer outside of Arizona for American Viking.
Oh yeah, Tim, Cigars Daily, American Viking.
Yeah. We were their first dealer outside of Arizona.
I remember watching a few videos of his because, like, I'm always looking for new brands, and influencers a lot of times start their own brands. And I saw he was announcing. I'm like, all right, and I sent him an email. They got back to me the next day, and it's like, just fill out this form, and you can be literally our first dealer. And it's like, all right, we're on board.
Excellent. We're always trying to keep our pulse on the industry a little bit and try to, we don't want to stagnate. We want to
as much as we can.
My whole brand's always been about the smaller brands, the boutique brands, the limited run. So, that's like most of my content. I'm always out there smoking stuff probably people have never heard of, but I'm out there.
What show you're having tonight, by the way?
So what I have here, this is Sassy Soul Cigars. It's a female-owned company out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. It's been fascinating. I got sent out the sampler pack of everything she has. I smoked her Oscuro stick, and I drooled all over the floor. It's that good. It is fantastic. And she was the official cigar ambassador of the NOLA Cigar Fest last weekend, and so I've got one of the official NOLA cigars that she manufactured and put out. So, I'm out there always trying to find the new brands and brands that are coming out, what you can get. So
I like that philosophy. That's very cool.
When
we do that as much as we possibly can.
Yeah.
People ask me all the time what I'm smoking, and I go, just look at my social media. If I'm posting pictures of it, it means it's a banging stick that you need to try out. Yeah. I smoke so much stuff, and I get so much stuff sent to me from these brands that if they're good, I'm gonna make it a focal point to showcase that they got something good. If it's not good, I'm just not taking a picture of it.
When we're off the stream, you got to tell us the ones to avoid.
You've been advertising those chicken legs a lot recently. What was the maker of the chicken leg cigar?
That's Espinal Puro. My buddy Fred, he's out of New Jersey. He has his own factory in the Dominican. He just started his own farm in the Dominican, so he's going to be sourcing his own tobacco from it. And he also manufactures for about 60 other brands out there as well.
Oh wow,
that's very cool.
So he's like Ramon Bueso.
Yeah, kind of a little bit like that. And he has one of my favorite sticks out there, which is the Spoilus, which was my number 8 cigar for 2022. I smoked a ton of those. They're fantastic. And Fred's a great dude. He puts out a lot of great. All of his stuff is fantastic. There's a lot of great brands out there that just, they don't get the love I feel that they deserve. They should get or the opportunities that they should be able to get. And so I try to use what little influence I have out there to to try and bring brand awareness to a lot of these brands out there.
Very cool.
Dude, I totally feel that. I think we kind of do the same thing here. Just like one day, a rep from Sagrado came knocking at our door and hung out. We kind of fell in love with them as a brand and people. They brought us cigars. I'm like, oh my God, these cigars are great. So we brought them in, and like every chance I get, you know, people want to know what I think in the humidor. They want me to pick out cigars for them or help them pick out cigars. And yeah, I just mostly I listen to them.
He treated us like family, and the owner treats us like family.
I mostly listen to just listen to the customer and try to figure out the best cigar to give them. But any chance I get, I'm like, and you should try out Sagrado because these are fucking awesome. Like, it's again super small influence. What I use, what I have.
But that's another thing. That's another thing we do too. Is I notice that every time I go out of town, I always go to the other cigar stores and see what they do and how they organize and stuff. And I notice how deep they order, and we specifically don't do that. So we won't order a dozen boxes of a cigar. We'll do smaller orders and faster turnover so we can have a more varied selection. So our humidor is a different experience almost every week. You're not coming in and it's the same old, we of course have staples. We have stuff that our regulars like and stuff that we like that we always make sure and keep around. But we have a good probably 50% or more of our humidor that turns over constantly.
There's a swing.
So we're always bringing in good new stuff and trying out new things and try to support and further the hobby and make it more exciting instead of just coming in and it's the same the same 90 here's the same 80 sticks we had last week, pick another one.
What is it your hat? I don't even remember.
No, it's,
are you guys going to be looking in the future to hit some of the trade shows out there to try and expand out a bit more in some of these brands?
Yeah, we're basically yes, but all of our focus and everything is going into finishing the remodel on our lounge.
The lounge.
And so once the lounge is up and going, it will afford, because it literally eats up all of our spare time. So once the lounge is up and running, then we'll be able to do things like that. But until that point, we kind of focus all of our energy that way because there are only two grandfathered cigar lounges in I think it's in the entire state.
Yeah.
And we have,
as far as I know,
we have one of them. So it's something that we really need to get back online. We took a little hiatus to get it rebuilt, but
sure.
Once people get in here, they will understand the scope of what we're doing. This isn't a little back room, and cheers to all the little back rooms because those are crucial.
The backbone of the hobby.
They're backbone of the hobby, but this isn't one of those. Like this is a big place. 9 TVs, 45-ish seats.
It seats a minimum of 45. We did 9 TVs, integrated sound system.
50 plus lockers.
We have 50 plus lockers coming. We have 3 repurposed smoke eaters that are each good for 1,800 square feet, but we have 3 of them. And instead of recycling the air and pumping it back in, we draw it in from a fresh air source and pump it out the back of the building so the air can change over in the room.
Every couple minutes.
Yeah, that we can change over the entire airflow of the room in like 10 or 15 minutes. And on top of that, we are a Rabbit Air lounge too. So we have Rabbit Airs in the facility as well as the smoke draws. So it's a very, very high volume. It's not just going to be like we were just talking about this earlier. We didn't build it to be impressive for Alaska. We built it to be like nationally recognized.
I love that. Ben asks a very pertinent question here. Does it have urinals?
It does not, unfortunately.
We have a bathroom. There's no more. We upgraded from the trough.
Oh man.
The old school stripper club trough. To a nice bathroom.
Because and like you said, when you get finished, because I really think if you got out there to some of those trade shows and met some of these manufacturers, you may be able to bring in some of these manufacturers in for cut and lights and really expose more about what you guys do up there. Because I think they would be more persuaded going, look, here's this big ass lounge we built that's awesome and amazing. We carry a fine selection of your cigars. we'd love to have you come up for a cut and light. And I think they would be really, really receptive to wanting to do that. And then you're really the showcase of hey, here's what in Alaska we get X, Y,
Culture in
and Z.
Alaska.
Yeah, I mean,
I want that to be synonymous. Yeah, we're already working on that again. Cigar. So John told me recently that he is planning a trip to. He's been up here before, but he's planning to come up this summer. So we want to do like a pairing event. Maybe even get some food involved. He's probably going to be our first one, and we're like I don't know about you guys. I'm pretty stoked to have like Sagrado be our first pairing event. But absolutely, I want them. I want all the boutique guys, but I want to get Drew up here. I want to get AJ up here. I want to get everybody up
like
here.
I said, we're not
all in due time.
We're not gatekeepers.
Yeah.
We like supporting the hobby, and we want to.
Yeah. To answer your question, yes, chick friendly. One of the last owner that's not here, Lori.
There are 5 of us that don't allow.
We're missing one right now. She's preoccupied this evening, but
She's busy stoking that sauna, so I can go over there later.
Yeah.
All right. Excellent. Good.
Yeah,
well, chick friendly. There you go.
Yeah.
we're not the grumpy old man. Oh, sorry. I was just saying we're not the grumpy old man. We're not the high end boys club. Like we want everybody to come in and enjoy fine tobaccos and cigars and the culture of it.
We won't necessarily talk prices, but we wanted to make it a price point to become a member that is affordable for most people, because the other option in town is
expensive.
Very expensive.
And leave it at that.
Yeah.
But we did partner with. I mean, you can see we partner with the Alaska Pipe Club and the Alaska Cigar Aficionados back here. So we've discussed and talked to them. We wanted to make sure that the pricing was acceptable to their members and it was attainable. We don't want to be elitist or nothing like that. We want a place where all of us can come and get together and hang out and have a fun time.
And they describe a sports bar essentially when they're talking about it. But what it kind of boils down to is it kind of pays homage to like peak Anchorage culture. So like it's like a combination of like rustic frontier meets kind of Art Deco.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, we have a cedar shake details. We have but it sounds like a sports bar when we describe it, but it's not. It's very classy. Classy seems like a lame way to just kind of lazy out and call it classy, but it's all leather, it's all dim lighting, it's all well controlled.
Like a sports bar mixed with the restaurant on the top of the building.
There you go.
Okay.
I mean, when I think cigar lounge, I think warm colors, I think soft leather, I think relaxed atmosphere. And we tried to build all that into it.
And for our logo, we actually took cues from the old 4th Avenue Theater, which, if you ever have time to look it up, 4th Avenue Theater, Alaska.
It was a historic landmark in downtown Anchorage, which was recently demolished.
It was beautiful, and we took concepts from their sign and everything, and that honestly kind of placed through the whole lounge inadvertently.
Yeah, you can go to loungeonfifth.com, and that is you can, we have a waiting list and a kind of an about us page and frequently asked questions and things like that. So you can kind of get an idea of what we're about if anybody from Alaska happens to.
Yeah, Art Deco smashed with a cabin,
Yeah, but.
So within the pipe and cigar culture you guys have up there, do you have a strong female presence that is involved in that up there, or is it a more male dominated?
Yeah,
not 30.
I'd say I'd easily give it 20.
Yeah,
I mean, we're pretty representative of the lounge is pretty representative of the culture in general. I mean, 1/5 of our ownership is female.
Yeah,
and that's pretty indicative of what I found when we go to our cigar events. It's not a sausage fest.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I could jump in here, I think that's one of the things we're trying to promote and encourage with the position that we have. Again, we're not looking down our nose at anybody. I think there's a lot of women out there. I talk to a lot of women who are like, yeah, I'm curious about cigars. I think they smell good, but I don't know. It's like a boy thing. It's a guy thing. I don't feel welcome, or I feel like maybe I'm the new one, and so I don't want to annoy anybody. And we're going to be like, fuck that. Come smoke cigars with us. It's a great thing.
Chatting.
Fine. It's one of the things we hope to encourage with what we're doing is, like we're just saying, it's just inclusivity, including the ladies. Like, yeah, we want you in here. Like, enjoy the cigars. They're for everybody. They're so good. Why wouldn't you smoke cigars? So we already know a good handful of people who like to join us and smoke here and there, and we're hoping that increases. And we're going to do that through our culture of just being friendly, accepting, welcome, and not sitting here being dicks. Basically, that's not us at all.
And what people don't realize is that Alaska is one of the most diverse populations in the United States. And if you ever go to a cigar event or a pipe event here, it's not a WASP fest. It's people from all different backgrounds, all different cultures, all different races and creeds come together and enjoy the thing together. And it's just, I don't know, I've been to a couple outside the state, and it's definitely a bunch of old white guys. It's not that fair at all.
I've noticed I've noticed over the last probably 5 or 6 years the rise of women within the industry, as well as consumers in that. But like you said, the inclusivity on it, I think it's what makes our community, the cigar community, the tobacco community, one of the best. Is that doesn't matter. Nothing else matters. Man, woman, black, white, what you are politically. You all come together over a piece of dead plant matter, and you have fun with it.
Absolutely, yeah.
You do. And when I was out in Vegas a couple months ago, I was at a basically a lounge that is geared more towards black people, but I was accepted in there and had one of the best times of my life. It's one of the best lounges I've ever been to.
Name? I think I went to them when I was down there a few months ago.
Tap and Ash.
Yeah,
that
was a cool place.
It's such a great place. The vibe is amazing. The people in there are great. They've got a beautiful humidor. The staff is friendly, and the moment I walked in there, I go, oof, well, all right, well, here it is. Nobody cared. And that's what I think, that's what I love about our community is nobody cared that I was white in a predominantly black lounge. Nobody cared. It was just as if I was a regular there all the time. And that's
cool.
That's the one thing I love about
That's one of the very cool things about the cigar community is it's, like you said, the focus is the dead plant matter. All the other stuff is ancillary.
Yeah.
I will say one thing our state has going for it is we're one of the few states that actually has a really quality beer for cigar pairing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we're actually smoking. So there's a Midnight Sun Brewery is a local brewery. They have a beer called Leche Robusto, which is a horchata stout. So it's got little notes of vanilla and cinnamon, and it pairs phenomenally with cigars. Probably easily my preferred, probably all of our preferred beer to pair with a cigar. And I generally, before this, I never would pair a beer with a cigar. I would always, I was always whiskey or rum.
It's definitely it definitely complements a lot of different cigars very well. It's not your like daily drinker. If it's a hot, sweaty day, you're not gonna be like, let me grab one of these Leche Robustos.
You don't want 6 of them.
But when you get a little shade on you and you're gonna have like a nice rich cigar, man, it's got it. All the little subtle flavors of the cigar really complement well with the subtle horchata flavors from the beer.
That beer sounds phenomenal.
It's quite good.
Yeah.
We'll
that's
we'll get you.
We'll rep Midnight Sun.
We'll get your address offline. We'll send you down a little care package.
Yeah.
Excellent.
That is definitely a good way to see if you're accepted at a cigar lounge.
Wearing your Speedo in? Sounds like a Chad move.
I just imagine Borat coming down the stairs. Very nice.
I'm pretty sure that's how Ben wears it. I would
shoulders.
Yeah, I would be willing to bet that's how Ben
not
wears
designed to
it. I
go
never
over
know
your
when to
shoulder.
take Ben seriously because he talks about his wife is blind and constantly falls into the pool. But then I'm like, is he being serious about this or what? I never know what's going on.
That's pretty funny. If so, then you should have given a better eye on her.
Yeah.
I never know. Yeah, he always talks about how blind his wife is, and I'm like, okay, well. And then she's always getting into some weird predicament. He's like when he bails out at the show, he's like, "Ah, gotta go. You know, my wife caught herself on fire today." Yeah. Oh, okay.
Is Benjamin secretly like the ghost of Rodney Dangerfield? Or
I don't know. I don't know, but I love him in the chat every week. You know,
you gotta love those regulars, man. We got those people too. Like we do our YouTube thing or in the store or whatever. We got a few regulars you can always count on, to the point where like if they're not there, you're like,
yeah,
are they okay?
I hope they're okay.
What happened to Machine Gun Monkey? He wasn't on.
Yeah, he missed. He wasn't on one week, and I was like kind of sad. I was like, I don't know, something just seemed different about the show. It's like I don't know. I don't have his quips coming in every couple minutes. I'm like, I don't know. It's not a good show if Ben's not involved in it.
I feel you, man. We got the same thing going on. Cheers to those people that make things better by just being there and being part of it.
That's right, Messy. Glad to see you in here, Messy.
Messy Thrills.
On fire.
All right.
Yeah, be safe
Messy
on
Thrills. That sounds like when you eat a sandwich that's too big, but you're like, I'm going in.
Messy's a good dude. He's a truck driver. He keeping America running by making his deliveries all across the country.
Very cool.
You know?
Actually, that's one thing that's kind of I don't think is so unique about Alaska as of recent, but back when I was a young man growing up, you could have a guy come into a store in stained overalls and a wife beater and just take out a fat roll and make like a $20,000 purchase on the spot and walk out. And then you'd have someone coming in a suit and only give you $500. You can't tell who's old money in this state at all. So it's a very diverse.
The oil business has the oil industry is taking care of that for sure.
Yeah, the oil industry has made several millionaires who you would not expect on the low key to be a millionaire.
You say this his wife's blind and she's trying to frost a cake, but it's the toaster.
You said Rodney Dangerfield. You brought up Rodney, didn't you?
Yeah.
My favorite Rodney Dangerfield joke is if I want to make my wife scream during sex, I get up and wipe my dick on the curtains.
I can always agree that Ben's not getting any respect here.
I get no respect. What do you do? Hey, maybe
love it. So when you guys started up your YouTube channel to basically showcase the culture, the tobacco culture within Alaska, did you think that you'd have the success that you guys have had with it?
Well, originally we started with doing reviews, and we didn't know what we were doing. So like our first reviews are like no edits. They're hour and a half long. Like nobody watched them.
Everybody had a different cigar.
Yeah, everybody had a different cigar. Like it was just we had no idea what we were doing, and so we kind of honed it down to like kind of getting down to the reviews, getting down to like 15, 20 minutes with some edits and some reviewing and a structure and everything. And then we decided to, we had a bunch of requests for doing live streams. And we thought, okay, well, we'll give it a go. And so the live streams have begun. We got much better feedback. We got much more engagement. And they're just funner to do. So we don't do so many reviews anymore just because it's kind of difficult to manage with 4 or 5 people sitting here. It's difficult to edit down. So we do a lot of we lean on the live stream because it's more fun to interact with people in real time too. And as more people join and we get, it's growing pretty well. But since we've kind of shifted the format, but
I enjoy it. I really enjoy your show. I think it's fascinating, and you have a lot of really unique people that have a lot of knowledge on that. If you're a tobacco geek, you're providing a lot of value out there to the show, and that's kind of why I became a fan of the show. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, and that's why we kind of keep it loose. We kind of keep it stream of consciousness and conversational. I mean, right down to the way we've even designed like the studio. I mean, the camera very much is supposed to emulate you just sitting at the table with us, hanging out. This is exactly what it would be. I mean, and even when this camera is not on, very often we're going to be down here doing this anyway. And just so we decided, okay, well,
and sitting like
so,
this.
and we literally
we sit this close too.
like we literally all sit in these exact seats, whether the camera's on or not, or what. So like either the camera's on or we're watching like a Kentucky Ballistics video. You know what I mean? But we're all still doing the same thing, having a beer, having a cigar.
Having you trash us in GoldenEye.
Yeah, and every once in a while I got to tell everybody who's the boss, but.
I quit doing reviews. Back last May after I got my 30-day suspension from YouTube, I stopped.
Well, this is
good. I put a focus on the live content. I got suspended for a rule that wasn't a rule.
Of course.
Yeah, one of them.
I was a non-monetized channel monetizing off of non-approved Google advertisers.
We got a strike. We got a strike for trying to. We had a review for the Buffalo Trace cigar, and we got a strike on it specifically for peddling unapproved products, illicit products, according to their TNCs.
Illicit.
And the thing is, I went through the whole video with a fine-tooth comb. At not a single point did we mention that we sold it, or did we mention that there was a price point. Throughout the entire video, and I fought it, and I still lost.
We always make a point to never mention price because in Alaska it's irrelevant. Yeah. I mean, shit. What's an acid gonna cost you up here in Alaska?
Yeah,
you pay $20. You pay $20 for an acid. Like us telling people prices is ridiculous. Stupid. It means nothing.
Yeah,
Kansas, you get the same cigar for $8.
Yeah, well, we didn't Like I have advertisers and sponsors on my show, but I kept everything to what their rules were on that. Yeah. And they created a rule that said unless they approve your advertisers and they get the money from it and disperse it out, you can't do that. But that wasn't a rule that was in effect. They created the rule in February of 2020. They implemented April 1st of 2020 to take effect July 1st of 2020. But they retroactivated it to January 1st. So in May, they got me and suspended me. So that way my suspension would end after that rule took effect. So it basically forced me to have to redo how I think, putting stuff out. I started Rumble. I started putting reviews up on Rumble, but I realized I'm going from 500 to 1,000 views a video to 30. It just was no longer worth my time to do the reviews anymore.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I put the focus on the live, and YouTube doesn't care about the live. I could sit here and peddle all my advertisers right now, and they don't care. They only care about the pre-recorded content.
Lots of supplements.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because we do.
Stupid to me.
Oh yeah.
Well, because it's funny because we have a knife channel. Because I actually own a knife store and a knife manufacturer as well. But
I'm also the IT administrator.
Yeah, he's also the trash admin on that too.
Yeah.
But we have our own advertisers. Like we have a local brewery, not Midnight Sun, by the way. That we have banners and stuff, and they sponsor us, but we don't necessarily peddle it. It's just a little banner at the top that says sponsored by stuff like that. But they've never come down on us. But we're also technically we don't meet the PG-13 criteria they want everybody to have because. Well, we're foul and we're smoking cigars and playing with knives all the time. And we also guest in on our friend's gun channel. So it's we're kind of like all the bad things you're not supposed to do. We kind of do all of them.
Well, there you go. They should be suspended for this comment. They should pull everything down, but they don't care.
Can you actually show us how that cutter works? Because I'm actually really intrigued.
Yeah, what do you got? Was that like a stabbing thing?
Yeah. I want to know more about
this. So this can be used in multiple different fashions. You can use this straight as a cutter, not even cut the cigar. You can just poke it, and you can poke in multiple different fashions in the cap, and it'll act as a cutter. Or you can use your favorite cut that you want and poke into the cut, or you can poke off onto the sides. And what you're doing is when you're poking into the sides, you're increasing the airflow in, so you're basically changing the chemical composition of how the tobacco burns, and you're enhancing the cigar. So when I reviewed this out on it, I went with cigars that I know very well, to smoke.
So you can,
and
you have
I
a
found-
good base for knowing what you're getting. Oh, very cool.
Yeah. So that way I knew I could see how the flavors changed when I smoked
take
the
notes.
cigar. And then I found a method that I like. You know, their tagline is you poke it and smoke it.
Yeah.
I added onto it, you make it your own, because the options are endless on what you can do. And if you wanted to run a hole up and down the whole entire cigar, you could do that. Although you're going to start it to me it seems pointless, but you know, me, I'll go with a V or a straight cut, and then just 3 holes right here off the side, boom, and smoke. And for me, that opens that draw up just a bit more to provide more oxygen coming into it. So I'm getting a deeper smoke. I'm getting that dragon clouds. I'm feeling the flavors more on my palate.
Yeah.
Some people will go down right when they light it, right down at the bottom by the foot, put a hole there, put a hole up top. So now you're drawing in more air off of your initial light. And it's basically, you're getting a blast of flavor out of it, man.
Right.
I mean, this is one of the most unique products out there. And I had Mark on the show and he talked about it. And he created this because his wife is a casual smoker, but she hates getting tobacco in her mouth when she smokes. So he came up with an idea for her to just poke the cap of it so she could enjoy smoking without getting tobacco in her mouth.
Good idea.
That's cool.
All right. So mental note, we're reaching out to see if we can become a dealer.
I think you should. You reach out to him, man, because it's awesome. He's got 2 sizes of these. This is the big one. He also has a small one that is more of what he calls the travel size on it. So
Looks
it's
like
half
a
the
chest
size of
piece
this.
or something like that.
Yeah,
It
looks
is.
like a rug.
And so now he's teamed up. He's
Yeah.
teamed up with one of the cigar manufacturers to manufacture this in wood, and they're going to come out as chest pieces.
Oh, cool as
That'd be
shit.
cool.
I like that.
Very cool. All right.
So yeah, reach out to Mark. You know, I can shoot you Mark's information. Reach out to him. Just let him know
We'd
you
be very-
talked to me
Send
about
it over on our. We got messages.
Yeah,
Send it over.
we'd be very, very interested. Very cool.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I mean, they're great, and a couple of the cigar shops in the state that have them, they can't keep them in stock.
Huh.
They sell so quickly once people learn about it. And Mark has a great video out on the multiple different methods that can be done, and he'll even jump on a Zoom or a live with you with his dummy cigars to show you the multiple different processes of how of what you can do, and then you can see how the options for this product are basically endless, because at the end of the day, that's why I added the tagline to the end. You make it your own, because you'll find a method that you like that works for you on a cigar, and you're like, dude, and you'll just find yourself doing it all the time, whether you want to do a cut with it or you don't want to cut the cap.
Yeah. I'm intrigued.
Yeah,
I
I'm
really want
intrigued
to
to
check
try
it out.
it.
Yeah.
And you know what that means is that if we got those, at least I, if not others, would have a lot of really good homework to do.
I can't wait to go back and smoke all my
I
favorite
gotta
cigars.
re-smoke all my favorite cigars using that tool, and it's
That's exactly what I was thinking.
arduous. It's going to be a lot of dedication and hard work.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard work on my.
You know, it's. But,
I did. I did. I went when I did the product review on this. I picked a couple of cigars I've smoked 1,000 times, and I smoked them each of one about 8 to 10 times.
Oh wow.
Using completely different cuts and different holes throughout. So, you know, I did a V cut on one. I did a straight cut. I did a punch. I'm not a punch guy, but I did a punch. I didn't even cut the cap on one. And then I poked holes in different areas of the cigar to find it out. And then I found a method. I found where I like poking the holes at that worked for me, and worked for me and also worked for me on different size cigars as well.
That's cool, man. I think
That's very cool.
That's part of, like, I guess, to segue back to us or whatever, but like, well, no, I mean, but
Back to our marketing team.
Legitimately though, like, we have a pretty good assortment of accessories and accoutrement to go with smoking too. We have quite a few big glass cases and stand-up cases and stuff. And yeah, everybody needs an Esca, a Vika, punches. We've got all your standard stuff, but like, we like to experiment with like what's new and cool and different in that world too. And our customers respond to it and they love it. And so that's cool. Yeah, for sure. Send us the link and we'll check it out. That'd be
it's
that'd be
nice.
great.
It's, you know, it's got some weight to it. And, you know, like he says, he's tested it out. He's thrown it against walls. He's smashed them with bricks to find out how the durability on these, to make sure that you're not going to get something that's trash that's going to break a couple times out after you use it. You know, it's got a screw-on cap to it, so it stays locked and tight when you're not using it.
So you can put it in your pocket, not worry about getting yourself.
You can put it in your pocket and not worry about getting poked. But yeah, you know,
so you don't aerate your thigh.
Yeah, you know,
I mean, that really intrigues me because I prefer.
I'm going to take it out when I aerate my backyard lawn and find out how well that works. You know, I mean, I'm going to use multiple uses. Yeah, I'm just going to go around. You know, yeah.
I'm always a fan of like doing an X or doing a punch on most cigars, and like that really intrigues me because there's a few cigars I can consistently do an X on where it turns out great, but like I do it too much. And then like punch works every time, but it always takes a shit ton of material, and I like having the cap.
Yeah,
so like that intrigues me.
And this, like, you can keep your cap. You can, if you wanted to keep the cap on, you can just keep the cap on, and you can find out multiple ways. Like you could run 9 holes through the top of this if you want, through the cap. And now you've basically cut the cigar, or you could go 3.
Good flow, but you're not eating a bunch of tobacco,
and you're not eating tobacco, yeah. You know, and especially if you've got a cigar that maybe gets loose at the end, and you start getting tobacco in the mouth. Well, now you've kind of solved that issue on that, you know, happening. Or if you're a sloppy smoker and you get your cigar completely wet when you're sloppy smoker there. Okay.
Usually his explode as he smokes it somehow.
Yeah. He ends up, every third cigar ends up like an Elmer Fudd shotgun.
Doesn't matter how I light it. I can have other people light it. It's just the way I am. I am who I am.
Yeah, you know, if you're that guy, you know, good. I know which cigars not to give you. No, I like it, and it's a great product. You know, I was totally sold. You know, I was one of those guys that was intrigued. I'm a tobacco nerd, and I want to. You know, my big thing was I want to see how the chemical composition changes in the burn by adding more oxygen to it as you're taking the draw.
Interesting proposition that hadn't occurred to me. Like, you know, outside of looking at the different cuts, you don't really think about that. But that's kind of an ingenious alternative. I really dig that.
And it was. And smoking cigars that I know so well that, you know, some of them are sticks that I smoke daily. So I'm very familiar with how they're supposed to taste. And the fact that I was getting a bolder, much more robust flavor coming out of these cigars, I mean, it blew my mind that I was like, man, you know, I'm sold on this. And then to trying the different areas of holes throughout the cigar differently. I'm like, okay, I don't like that. No, that loosens up the draw too much. I don't like where that's at. I like it here. Right here, you know, so I found that sweet spot that works for me on it. And so make it your own. And when I told Mark, when he you know, I was on a live with Mark, and he's like, yeah, you know, your select draw, just poke it and smoke it. And I said, and make it your own, because at the end of the day, you're making it your own with how you choose to put the hole, where you choosing to poke the cigar.
I like that aspect. It's like customizing your cigar exactly to your preferences and your tastes.
Exactly. Exactly. So, you know, a cigar that may be a bit, you know, I did a cigar that's a bit more on the low, medium side, high, mild side. The flavor blast I got out of that cigar was amazing. It took that cigar that's normally on the lower side, it ramped it up to more of a more on the medium side, and gave you the flavors came through much more robust. And I'm like, damn, dude, had I known that, man, where was this 20 years ago when I started smoking? It's a game changer.
Yeah, sure. Cool.
What burning questions do you have for us about Alaska or just us in general that you want answered, man? Open book, at least for me.
Or should we selflessly, shamelessly self-promote a little more? I
Oh,
feel
man,
like
you
we've
guys
done
can
enough of that.
selfishly, do it. Anybody in the comments, you guys have any questions about Alaska, the final frontier?
We're here for you. I guess I'll come back around again. I'm to the selections that we keep. We kind of chose cigars that we think are cool, that we like to promote.
How about this
that
one?
aren't everybody's. I already mentioned I've got Sagrado here. We know
What are you smoking?
I've got a coffee, Kafie.
Caffey.
Oh, Dr. Caffey. Yeah, Dr. Caffey makes great
I
fix.
really enjoy them for the price point. God, their flavor is fantastic, and I'm usually a CAO guy, which makes me a basic bitch. But I like when CAO does a Maduro. They do a Maduro. They just double down on the traditional Maduro flavors and of the country it's sourced from, and they don't play games and try and add other things in there.
They're Brazil.
They're Brazil.
They're America.
Their flatheads are fantastic.
Yeah, the flatheads are nice.
And the Caffey, like when they do a Maduro, it does add a few other flavors in there, but they're prominent. And I really enjoy that because it's almost like a palate cleanser between my favorite cigars. Like I get like a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of dark coffee in there, a little bit of dark chocolate. Whereas with like the CAOs, I just get like a traditional Maduro, which I enjoy. I like simplistic flavors.
This is why you need a Select Punch.
A what?
The Select.
Yeah, I need one of those, man.
Select Punch. Yeah.
My palate's destroyed, so like I really like strong, bold flavors. I drink black coffee every morning and all throughout the day, and like I crave that. And I don't know, like this cigar speaks to me. They don't play around. There's no pussyfooting. It's strong, bold flavors, no other bullshit.
You can always tell when Dakota gets to work because you hear the door open, and then 3.5 seconds later, you hear the coffee grinder going. Like the first thing he does is like door coffee.
That's all. Yeah, there's everybody's preference that is out there on what they enjoy, and when you hit that point of where you need your preference is bold. That's my preference. I prefer a cigar that's going to punch me in the face. And that's where I'm at. And that comes from, look, that's over 20 years of smoking, and I've built my palate up to that point. I do enjoy lighter. I do enjoy the mix up and coming into more of the content creation side of things. I've had to retrain my palate a little bit more because I'm out there searching for the variety of cigars and what's available out there, just not what's my preference. If I'm just smoking for myself, I'm going to smoke something that's my preference.
Yeah, I did the same thing. Because how I got into it was I bartended in college, so I could have a night job, and I bartended at a very nice place, and we had a humidor, and so people would ask me on my opinions on cigars, and I had no clue. So I just slowly started rotating through the humidor, and everything we had, I would just smoke it so that I had some kind of, opinion on it, so I could tell them something, and then develop the appreciation for it. And we, the place that I bartended at, it leaned heavily into cognacs and bourbons, and it was like, oh, well, that's perfect. So we close and.
There's my AR-15 lighter.
Very cool.
Yes.
Oh,
Love
shit. We have a flashbang we have a flashbang lighter that is upstairs. We should have brought it.
You say, here's Ben. He's bolting because his blind wife is talking to our neighbor, and he's a Ron Jeremy lookalike from the waist down.
Oh my God.
He's got to have like a whole list of these jokes.
I think he does because every week he's got a different out every week. Love you, Ben, brother. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us tonight. Now what was I gonna say? Fuck.
Thanks, Ben.
I had some Ben took my thought completely away from me on that one. But yeah, there's fuck it. I don't remember now. It'll come back to me like tonight when I'm laying in bed. This is what I wanted to say. Yeah, man, I think that it's back to the cigar at hand on the fuck it. I don't know. My fucking brain's shot now.
Coffee.
Fuck it. You know what? Wasn't important
All right.
anyway. Screw it. Screw it out there. So, yes. So you're talking about, when you got into it. I got into it. I was intrigued by cigars as a teenager, and then I skipped school the day I turned 18, and I drove to the cigar shop in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and I walked in and I told them straightforward, I just turned 18. I don't know anything about this, but I'm really fascinated by cigars. And so they took me into the humidor and gave me 3 sticks. And they go, here you go. And I go, how much do I? You go, take them. If you like it, come back.
Free.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
every drug dealer knows you get the money on the comeback.
Yeah. So that set me down.
But I get people free cigars all the time. So that's
Hey.
So that took me down a very long path for the last 22 years of
I had a Phillies
cigars.
Blood T-shirt in high school.
Yeah, I walked in, man. I was like, I don't know anything about this. Can you show me? And they show me, and they go, here's 3 sticks. And I think that these are very good for first-time smokers, and see if you like them. And that first draw I took, I was like, holy cow. Because I was always intrigued because all the cool people smoke cigars in movies and TVs. The good guys smoke cigars. The cool bad guys smoke cigars.
Come on, man. Arnie's rocking a cigar in every movie where he's the hero. Who doesn't want a cigar?
Who doesn't want to try it? So I'm like, I got to try it, and I did, and then I got hooked, and then it was like, and then I started working for a tobacco company while I was still in high school.
Oh no shit.
So I got a job, and then after I graduated, I kind of, I took my love and passion for it and moved into a different position as a 20-year-old. Now I'm in charge of quality control and quality assurance for a tobacco company. And now I'm traveling the United States. I'm traveling to the Dominican and to Indonesia and to Nicaragua to inspect tobacco.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
We had
I can't wait to do the same thing.
We had some Philippine cigars recently.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we did a review with a friend of ours.
They're very heavy on the Perique.
David, yeah.
Tabacalera and Corporata.
Yeah, so David, he's a
great friend.
Yeah, he's a great friend. He's down here all the time. Those nights when I talk about we sit down here and do this thing, very, very often David is the other one at the table. And his family lives over in the Philippines. So he went over there, brought back some Philippine rum, brought back some Philippine cigars. We had a whole Philippine review night. It was very cool stuff.
That was super cool. And it was so good.
Yeah. And a great, unique experience. And one of the rums he brought back was, man, what is it? A great
Don
pairing.
Papa.
Yeah.
Don Papa
rum. Man, it was a phenomenal pairing. It was one of my favorites.
I've been to the Perique factory in Louisiana. It's
Nice.
awesome. It's everything you would expect. The smell is phenomenal when you walk in.
Nice.
Just that.
I bet you can smell it a mile away.
You can smell the fire. You can smell the tobacco coming off of the fire curing. You can smell the charred oak and bourbon barrels as they're putting it in. It's amazing. It was probably one of the coolest experiences I've ever had. It was going to that factory out there. Yeah, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah, all the little funny little details that for like whatever reason, whether it's pop culture, whether it's somebody you knew, whether it's where you grew up at, that one day brings you to sitting here and going, you know what? I fucking love this. And it makes my life better, and it brings me around cool people who I appreciate spending my time with. What a wonderful fucking thing. That's one of our missions, is just trying to get everybody to understand, like, why do you smoke cigars? I'm like, how much time you got?
Well, all you need is an hour. Why don't you come hang out with us for an hour?
Yeah, just
and
come
we'll show
hang
you
out.
why we smoke a cigar.
When you leave, you'll be like, I think I want to be a cigar smoker.
Are you guys
like,
going to do this again next week?
Yes,
we are.
Yes.
We're going to do it again on Tuesday. So come on back.
It's a beautiful, wonderful thing, man. It's great to talk to somebody who's different experiences, but led you to the same place where we're sitting here dead plant matter, and just like
My favorite description. I'm adopting that now.
Yeah, it's a wonderful thing, and that's kind of that's.
It is. Everybody, all of us had different journeys that got us to this, but it's the same because the ending becomes the same because we've made lifelong friends of people that we met 2 weeks ago. We feel like we've known them forever, and it's an experience that I don't think any other social group out there can claim about the uniqueness of what we bring to that table, which is, we've cornered something, the uniqueness of it, the community, the love, the fact that, we're a very giving community out there. Look, when, you can go on Instagram, if somebody that we know, even though we didn't know them, but was part of the community died. I mean, we all seem to rally around hold fundraisers and charities for the families. During COVID, the Chicago crew was making sandwiches to deliver to the schools, to the poor schools, where this lunch is the only meal that some of those kids ever get from school. Taking meals over there so these kids could have something to eat. You weren't seeing other social communities doing that. It was our community, and that makes me proud of our community.
I mean,
absolutely.
Even back in December, I was back in Arizona. I lived there for like 16 years, and back visiting family, and they have a pretty good cigar culture down there. When I was down there, and I was with a bunch of friends, we were watching a football game, and I saw there's a lounge like across the parking lot. I'm gonna sneak over. I'll be right back. And I was gone for like an hour. And it's 3 guys that I've never met. And by the time I left, like I had 2 phone numbers, and I'd been over there for an hour, hour and a half. And it's because it was like instant like bonding, like over just this hobby that is it's so inclusive and fun.
Yeah,
I love it.
It is. It's great. I can walk. Any of us could walk into any lounge in this country and leave with numbers of guys like, yeah, man, you know what? I'm going to be back in this area in like 3 months or something, dude. I'll hit you up, man, so we can link up and have a smoke, But you felt they're leaving that lounge with a couple of those guys. Like you felt like you've known them your entire life.
Yeah. And even when you leave, it's like, I got to force myself to leave. I was in Charleston with my wife. I went to another lounge, and we're in Charleston, and I'm in there with my wife, and I just, strike up a conversation. And after about 30 minutes, my wife's like, I'm going to go ahead and head out, go to the restaurant. I was like, okay, I'll catch up with you later. I'm just hanging out in this lounge in Charleston with 5-6 dudes I've never met before, but all of a sudden I can't stop talking to them.
Yeah, you can't stop, man. And I met some amazing people in there, and people that wouldn't talk to somebody like me if they saw me out on the street or anything. Here's a guy in charge of a doctor or somebody in charge of a multi-million-dollar company talking to a guy who's a blue-collar grunt. I work manual labor. Why would you want to talk to somebody like me? But yet something, again, that fermented dead plant matter brought 2 unlikely people together.
Yep. Very true.
Yep.
Very true.
I'm glad it brought all of us together so far.
Hey,
that's why I'm here.
We all seem to get along pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we all
we're always looking for the next victim. Like,
come, let us get you.
One of us.
Got you, bitch.
We should all wear white fucking shirts next time and like robes.
No.
It's a cult.
Yeah.
We're waiting on a comet to pass by. Get some Kool-Aid together. Yeah.
You can pull off a cigar and then stab yourself and join the cigar comet in the sky.
Comment with your smoke.
Not a lot of people know this, but when you see the sun, it's actually just the cherry of a cigar. We were looking at it straight on. From the other side, there's a whole cigar burning back there.
It just spins around.
And when
God smoking a cigar, man.
Yeah, and when it finally burns his fingers, that's when we're done.
Yes, we're sitting here smoking the newest flavor from Acid, arsenic. And
Arsenic. Jesus. Yeah.
guys, man, I appreciate you guys coming on, sharing your guys' story, your lounge. If you're ever in the Anchorage area, make sure you go hit these guys up. They're fun. As you can tell, man, I had a blast hanging out with these guys. They operate an amazing shop. They've got such an amazing selection too. And they have one thing that I really love, which is a very good website that's easy to navigate.
Man,
that's this guy.
If for any reason you find yourself, this is our trash admin. For any reason you find yourself in our neighborhood, please come by. We'll roll out
We love
roll
to
out
meet
the
you.
red carpet for you.
Yeah.
The little one.
The little one, yeah. I mean, I don't need much, but I do expect 5-star amenities.
Hey, we got a studio, we got a lounge, we got a big humidor. You'll feel right at home, man.
Feel right at home. Excellent. Everybody, make sure you go and follow and support these wonderful gentlemen at Fifth Avenue Cigars. Links to everything them, social media and website, are down in the description if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube. Easy access for you guys. If you're watching on LinkedIn, you have to figure out what's what up there since they hide the links on there. But I've tried to make it easy for the people who watch on normal sources like Facebook and YouTube.
Perfect.
Thank you, man. We
Excellent,
really appreciate
guys. Hand it off to you guys for any final thoughts you got.
I'll
keep
just
smoking, enjoy it.
Yeah.
Share it with someone you care about.
smoke cigars. Make your friends smoke cigars.
Mhm.
And you know what, I've been watching your channel for a minute, and I love it. And I just want to say thanks for having us on. This is great.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Great
we
to
very
actually
much
sit
appreciate
here
it.
and
Thank you.
have a quote unquote face to face with you. Yeah, Fifth Avenue Cigars, the Lounge on Fifth.
Nope, just loungeonfifth.com.
Loungeonfifth.com.
Oh, and we're not called Fifth Avenue Cigars because we think we're some kind of bougie New York bullshit. We're on Fifth Avenue.
We're on Fifth Street. Yeah.
So that's why it's Fifth Avenue Cigars and the Lounge on Fifth. So we are on Fifth Avenue.
Well, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, I just thought you guys were elitists,
Well,
Yeah.
you know what's
Fifth
funny?
Avenue Cigars, cigar elitists.
Fifth Avenue.
Dude, we sat around
Thank you,
trying to figure out a name for the lounge. I mean, for months, we had a whiteboard brainstorming, could not figure out a name for the lounge.
The boiler
And
room.
we just kept calling it the Lounge on Fifth.
That's
And we're
what
like,
I was. Yeah.
and we're like, no matter what we name it, everybody's just gonna eventually just call it the Lounge on Fifth.
Yeah.
So let's just call it fucking Lounge on Fifth.
Hey, where's that cigar lounge? The one on Fifth?
Yeah, that's what they're all gonna call it. So we just leaned into it heavy.
Where are you going? I'm going to the lounge. Oh shit, where's that? Fifth.
Yeah,
All right,
exactly.
so cool. Like the Lounge on Fifth. Yeah.
I mean, and, it makes sense. There's some people out there who may not understand it, but, whatever.
I don't understand. They got to get over here.
They will eventually,
Yeah.
and get up here and hang out with us, man.
And I'll try. I'm gonna try. Look, I just printed out my passport paperwork to renew my passport. So
I gotta
in
do
about
that too.
6 months, I'll get to that. So
Okay.
good up there. Tomorrow night, Raw Cigar Reviews. Ryan and myself. We do not have a guest, so we will be just freestyling some sort of review tomorrow night. Next Monday night, cigar educator and a girl who I have a massive crush on, Michelle Merkelson from Cigars with M, will be my guest. So come tune in for that. Will be a lot of fun, and I'll try not to dote over her too much. And man, I've been doting over you guys for the last hour and a half. So
Thank you so much, man. We
Appreciate you very
really do
much.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Big D.
That's right. That's me. I appreciate you guys coming on. I had a lot of fun. I hope everybody in the chat and comments said, I know it's a late start tonight, so you may be wanting to catch the replay of this tomorrow.
Yeah, sorry, we're in a shitty time zone.
Yeah.
You know what? It's all right. And if you're watching the replay on this, feel free to leave comments in there because I'd like to see what you guys think. If you're watching off the replay, comments always help. Make sure you like too, so that we screw up the YouTube algorithm. Guys, thank you so much. We'll see you all next week.
Thanks a
And
lot,
make
man.
sure you
Have a
guys
good night.
take care, be safe out there. Don't do anything us sweet, innocent boys wouldn't do. And we'll see you next week.